Hello, welcome everybody. Welcome to Back to School Night. So my name is Holly Martin. So I am your child's psychology teacher. I also teach American Studies for 9th grade. You can see my contact information there. So Holly Martin, hmartin@cacalico.org. So feel free to contact me if you need anything. So a little bit about myself. So I have a pet dog named Kenya, so you can see a picture of her there. She's the 2-year-old border collie. I am the oldest of 6 children, so I have 4 sisters and 1 brother. You can see a picture of my family there. When I am not teaching, I like to travel. So here's a picture of when I went to England a few years ago. And I also like to bake, so there's a picture of some things that I've baked in the past. Education-wise, so I graduated from Garden Spot, and then I went to Grove City College in Western Pennsylvania for my college. I graduated with a degree in history with a certification in social studies education. So psychology. So here's a course description. Psychology is the study of human behavior. So psychologists are attempting to explain why people behave, feel, and think as they do. So that's what we're exploring in this class. So some course goals and objectives. So the students will get a broad-based understanding of the field of psychology. The students will be able to apply these psychological principles to their own experiences, and they will gain a better understanding of their own and others' minds and cognitive processes. So some goals for the class. So here is some of the units that we cover. So we cover a lot of topics of psychology. Like I mentioned, it's kind of a broad overview. So at the college level, you'll have classes that are more specific, but at the high school level is kind of a broad overview. So we start with the field of psychology, do some methods. We look at the brain, sensation and perception, so how our senses work, what motivates us. So we look at emotions, we look at our consciousness, so that's like and different forms of consciousness like sleep. Look at learning, how we learn, how we remember things, intelligence, creativity, and then we do some like human development, so infancy through old age. We look at personality, how we deal with conflict and stress, and then we look at some mental disorders, treatment for those, therapies, and then social cultural influences, so how other people influence us. Here are my class expectations. So I have 5 main rules. So first, be respectful. So that includes being respectful to me as the teacher, to the classmates, to themselves, to all the things in the classroom, school property, school policies, etc. Be attentive, so pay attention in class, or if they're working from home because of quarantine or something like that, then be attentive to what they're working on. Participate both in person or if they have to do it virtually. Be responsible for their own actions, for following school rules, doing their best work, keeping up with their assignments, and then checking in. Be on time, so be on time coming to class, be on time completing attendance work that we do at the beginning of each block, and be on time in turning in their assignments. And the last one is be prepared, so come to class ready to learn with any material that they need, with their computer charged, and prepare for any tests or quizzes that are coming up. So grading, so this is how the final grades will be determined. So 40% of their final grade is going to come from marking period 1, 40% from marking period 2, and then 20% from the final project and exam. So that would be 10% for the project and then 10% for the exam. Each of the marking period grades, so those 40% categories, are going to be determined by the following. So 75% of each marking period grade is from assessments and major assignments. So those are things like tests, quizzes, projects, writing assignments, kind of those bigger ones that I can use to determine their final understanding of a topic. And then 25% is from classwork, homework, and participation. So this is kind of the practice stuff, the things we do in class, the check-ins to see how they're doing with the learning before we get to the final assessments. So some course assignments. So we'll do notes and classwork activities, occasional homework. They should be keeping all of these things for studying for the final, which is going to be cumulative across the whole semester. Each marking period, the student will find an article of a current issue or topic in psychology, something that they're interested in. You're going to read it, write me a one-page summary paper, and then share that information with the class. So that'll happen 2 times during the class, once for marking period 1 and once for marking period 2. We do a lot of projects, so they could be individual or group projects. We do some tests and quizzes. We do some personality quizzes and like little fun tests to see about each of the students, so they can learn more about themselves and apply some of the material that we learn in class to their own lives. And then for the final project, we are going to do a research project on psychological disorders, so they get to pick one of the disorders from the list that I have, and they get to do some research and explore a little bit more specifically about one. All right, so late work. So for the major assignments, so that's things like projects, writing assignments, papers, etc. Things are due at 11:59 on the day that it's due. So they lose about 2% per day that it's late, up to 25% off total. So about 2%, I tend to round to the nearest whole point or half point rather than doing decimal points. And I don't take any late work after the end of the marking period. So classwork and homework, I give them a 2-day grace period, so I don't take off points for the first 2 days that it's late. After 2 days, it's going to be about 5% per day, up to 25% off, again, not after the end of the marking period. My resubmission policy, so all tests and quizzes can be retaken 1 time each, or if they would rather not retake the whole test and just want to fix the problems that they got wrong, you can do test corrections for a test or quiz, again, just once instead of retesting, and then they would get some of the points back. So you could get half of the credit back. Major assignments like projects or papers can be revised and resubmitted once at any time within the marking period that it's in. So what can you do as a parent? You can encourage your students to participate when they're in class or if they are at home for some reason. You can advocate, urge your student to advocate for themselves and contact me if they have any questions or don't understand. So I'm very happy to help them if they need help with anything, but sometimes I don't know that they're confused about something or don't understand an assignment unless they share that information with me. So encourage them to come talk to me if they're confused or need an extension or something else is going on. Encourage them to come talk to me. Remind your students to turn in their assignments on time. You can check on Schoology for upcoming assignments. I try to post a little reminder of big assignments that are coming up. Ask them what they're learning and have them teach you. So one of the best ways to learn something is to actually teach it to someone else. So if you ask them to explain what they've been learning, it will help them remember and understand the information better. You can also check PowerSchool for any missing work or Schoology for upcoming assignments. And as always, you can contact me if you have any questions or concerns about anything. All right, well, thank you for listening. I hope you have a wonderful day.